so the WWE can resume its live TV events. Meanwhile, Starbucks, you may have heard of them, announced plans to gradually reopen using a strategy they call Monitor and Adapt, which oddly are the same names I gave my pecs. But you know what else might come back? The one thing that probably shouldn't come back: wet markets. Yeah, according to the Great World Health Organization, any wet markets that are allowed to reopen must conform to stringent food and hygiene standards. Great. I'm sure the World Health Organization is going to head on over there and inspect them. By the way, did you know that a scientific paper predicted that viruses in horseshoe bats, along with the practice of eating exotic animals in southern China, is, quote, a time bomb? That conclusion was from 2007. So great job, World Health Organization. And speaking of things that make no sense,
Oh my God.
I have no idea what that meant. Tyrus, it's good that pro wrestling is coming back, but what do you think?
You know what? A couple of things real quick. Number one, when you call something an essential business, I don't feel that wrestling is necessarily up there with people on the front line who are changing and saving lives. Although, just like with Major League Baseball is trying to come back, the NBA is trying to find a way, the NFL, and sports entertainment, it falls into that same line. So I think if they can do it safely, of course, there's a lot less numbers in terms of who's competing at one time, so you can control that. Obviously, they have to have quite a few tests, so there might be some issues with why the WWE have so many tests and, that whole testing argument I'm not going to go into. But I think it's good for society to have something to watch, and if it can be done safely, I'm all for it.
All right. Kat, the thing that's weird, I need to get out of my house because every time I have a headache, I think I have the virus. Every time I have a kink in my neck, I have a virus. And I can't get this out of my head. So in a way, we need to bring back things to fill up our brain so we stop thinking about the virus.
Yeah, and again, the situation is so much different all around the country. So I think it's great for places where things can start to open, not just for those people, but like you said, because if there's conducting business in one area of the country, it helps the economy of the whole country, gives us some other things to talk about. Personally, I don't think I'm in New York City right by a hospital. So I'm like in the heart of Wuhan right now where I live. Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm going to be able to leave my apartment anytime soon. But I really hate seeing people writing things off, concerns about opening things, concerns about the economy. The only people that write that off as being not compassionate are the people who are so rich and they're the elite of society that never need to worry about it.
Mike, are you confident that the World Health Organization are really going to clamp down on the wet markets like they did after the SARS outbreak?
Well, I am one of the world's renowned experts on wet markets. So
you actually probably have one.
Right by him.
I do.
That's the other room of that little hut.
I don't have much to say about wet markets, but you know what I do have a lot to say about? Could you look at that?
Your new show.
Too much? Is it too much? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know how that got
what
there.
What network is that on, Mike?
It's on the Science Channel, a Discovery Network, and it's on Thursdays, 10 p.m. And if people are looking for something to take their minds off of the current pandemic and public health crisis, they're feeling angsty, and instead of picking up that number and dialing, I say watch the show.
So shameless, I respect it.
Me too. I love how he snuck that in.
I love it.
All right, Tom, what are you excited to have come back?
I think Starbucks is going to be... I was in a coffee shop today, not a Starbucks. It was just a mom and pop shop, but everyone behaved very well. Everyone's using hand sanitizer. I was in a Lowe's Home Improvement today. The staff was great. They all had masks. Everyone's doing hand sanitizer. Employees are behaving like emergency room doctors, and I think everyone across the country is going to be able to handle this. We're in New York. It's like the epicenter, and I think everyone is behaving well, and I think we can already get back to work.
New York is the epicenter, making Kat the epilady.
I don't get it.
It's just a terrible joke. But you're right. And by the way, we have to learn. We have to learn from the supermarkets and all the people that are doing the right measures and working. We have to get information from them. One last break. Go ahead, wash something.
We're finally back out in our yard.